And we're back with the show. It's Gerald Glasser coming right back at you here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. Truly appreciate you joining us. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow. Do whatever it is you can to support us right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. Well, I wanted to go ahead and make sure with all the stuff going on around the world of entertainment, I bring in one of my favorite guests to come on and stop on by, talk about what's going on in the world of entertainment. And there's some things that he wants to point out. So while everything's going on with Netflix and its three-body problem, while everything's going on with FX and Shogun, while everything's going on with March Madness that's still taking place even into April, there's still more to talk about in the world of entertainment. And here today to discuss quite a few things if he wants. He's a good man indeed. He is the man of true knowledge, even when he's in. Or even when he's out, he's still in. If I can read that correctly, it is the man of true knowledge, the guy behind the MCU's Bleeding Edge. It is Jeff Sloboda. And Jeff, great to have you back, my friend.
It's good to be back. I enjoy being on the Pop Culture Cosmos, so just happy to have the invite.
Absolutely. Well, my computer will ever send you the invite. Sometimes that that is a little bit delayed because of how
technical difficulties will happen to all of us, sir, even the best of us.
Yes, that's true. Well, my computer's aging faster than me, and I didn't think that was possible. But I will say, though, one of the things that you wanted to talk about was a series or a season, could be a series that ending or a season that's picked up later on, that is The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, which just recently ended its run for a possible season 1, could be leading a season 2. We don't know as of yet. We do know Dead City is already working on season 2. So the Walking Dead franchise, which so many have walked away from, still is there. And while I joke about that, Jeff, the ratings for the initial entry in those Ones Who Live, because it was a return for Denai Guerrera and Andrew Lincoln, who a lot of people back in the day were very sad for him to leave. He is now returned to play the role of Rick Grimes, and of course Michonne as well. They did their job. The problem is the show itself, whether you liked it or hated it, it doesn't matter because it was a return. It did the numbers that it needed to do. And in the end, as one of the biggest series openers in 5-6 years, I think was the case, according to AMC, it is still, again, the love is there in some form or fashion or amount for The Walking Dead. So your thoughts, my friend, on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, as far as the CRM, the whole, we're going to go ahead and take everything in as far as a military state is concerned and have a military control, and it's up to just Michonne and Rick to go ahead and save the day once again. Your thoughts, my friend. We'll probably go into spoilers on this one because if you haven't seen the 6 episodes already, it's already available. So go ahead and check it out. But your thoughts, my friend, on The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live.
On the finale episode, Gerald, I'll say that it really seems clear by the way they wrapped up the episode that the story is finished. I don't see a second season coming off of this episode. I just want to point that out right off the bat. That's just my opinion. But if you watched Dead City like I did and reviewed it, if you reviewed Daryl Dixon, they were setting up second seasons. This show was not setting up another season.
Yeah, they tried at that helicopter ride back home to Alexandria. They tried to just like have a reporter do a voiceover, tried to sweep everything under the rug.
Yeah, they did a time jump and everything going on and didn't show us any of whatever happened.
No, but they say everything is all settled, everything is great now.
I didn't like how they handled the CRM. I was honestly disappointed with the finale. I love the series itself as a whole, but the finale was probably the worst episode out of the 6 for me, to tell you the truth. And I rated it like a 7, just because I didn't like the CRM was such a great villain. Right, as an overarching villain, like the CRM Beale, it created such good tension during the series, right? They built it up so much, and that tension was so important, right? So to just have them wrap up and tie up that whole storyline like that, bam, just in that finale, like
Mhm.
they set up so much leading up to it. It just seemed like they kind of like, rushed it a little bit and just killing Beale off like that and whatnot. I felt like they could have serviced his character better than that and whatnot. There was something there. They were set up after episode 5 to go into another season, right?
Well, the CRM, I will give you that as a villain type deal. They could have been a lot larger represented. They could have been more extended represented. They could have lasted. This could have lasted longer or much more threatening than let's just make them the villain of the day or the villain of the season and then just finish them off at the end of the episode, which they did. And it just, to me, there was a lot of problems with this show.
Yeah, it was very flawed. Just the whole like his the epsilon the whole dossier being what the stupid crap that it was.
Yeah,
We're all gonna die in 15 years. Like, I'm
yeah.
sorry, but that was kind of sloppy and it kind of shocked me because the writing was so good across the board in the series and the storytelling. It just seemed like they really skipped a beat. Like episode 5 was almost set up for what I thought was going to be another season. And if you watch other reviewers, other YouTubers that covered the show, they'll tell you the same thing. They were shocked that coming off of episodes 4 and 5, the finale went the way it did.
I just, for me, I just never got really into it. I never thought it was really something cataclysmic or invested. I just, and in fact, just the events and how it followed and how Rick wanted to, in real life, wanted to go ahead and make sure that his character lost his hand, similar to what the comic book character did. He wanted to find a way to do so, and okay, whatever. And then Michonne, how they found each other, it was just okay. All of this is a matter of convenience. All of this, as far as the storytelling, the writing, the screenplay, all of it seemed like it was just a matter of convenience, and to me, that was very disappointing. Plus, also as well, a lot of the expectation, the exposition, excuse me, the exposition was made by Leslie Ann Brandt's character Pearl, who is of
Whose
South.
storyline I thought was also not well serviced in the finale.
No, they just I guess killed her off apparently, but you don't know that for sure. So they just kind of swept her under the her character under the rug as well. But they gave her character a ton of exposition, more than any other character in the show. And
The
I
first
think,
couple of episodes they did, yes.
but the problem is her character with the South African dialect. It's hard to understand. And it is very hard for her to articulate everything that was going on, that I think that everybody could follow it. I think that the way what things she wanted to get across, especially in larger detail, in larger diatribes that she was given, I think was harder for her to go ahead and correlate to a wider
The
audience.
loss of the Okafor character was rough because he was that actor did a great job with that character, man.
I agree. Okafor. I mean, I'm not trying to slight Leslie in the slightest. I just think that they gave her a lot to go ahead and express, and in doing so, with the very distinct South African dialect, it is very hard to follow and get that point across.
They
And
kept the secondary character count low.
yes, and well, obviously, Klaus. I mean, that last scene of when they land in Alexandria tells you the truth. Just the kids were there waiting for them. What about the rest of Alexandria?
I know. That's what I said too in the review. I'm like, well, I wanted to see them walk through Alexandria, and the other thing is too is that I mean the show did some really good things. Like it did have some real positives. I thought, like the first couple episodes were really well done. They built up a lot of the political intrigue with the CRM and with Pearl. Okafor, with Okafor's death, I thought, oh, well, this is The Walking Dead. They kill off good characters, is what they do. But the episode 5, where they brought in Father Gabriel from The Walking Dead, was genius. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. I liked his return. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
How it impacted the Jadis character?
Yes, it was nice to see that they were having that type of relationship where they would have a reunion each and every year, and he would try to do what he can to communicate with her about what wrong she is doing. But the Okafor character, Craig Tate, was the actor. He did a really good job. And I think, like you said, killing off a major character seems to be the TWD's MO all the time. And unfortunately, in doing so, I think it, again, put a lot of unfair weight onto Leslie Ann Brandt's character. And I think that was a lot of the undoing of the series for me. I think this series, it had to do a lot of work in such a short period of time, and I don't think it got it done to the point where I'm happy with it. And I'll leave it with that. But again, overall, it's something where people wanted to see Rick and Michonne back. They got Rick and Michonne back, which leads me to a larger question. You say it's pretty much done as far as season one. The ratings, like I said,
it seemed like I mean they used those extended flashbacks to the actual Walking Dead series, which was also genius in the finale.
Yeah.
With all the kills. Just to fan service the original fans, and also to get people to actually want to go back and watch the Walking Dead show and keep their AMC Plus subscriptions.
Absolutely, and of course, what they did in that voiceover pretty much finished off that season. But I don't think Rick and Michonne are done. They could say they're done, but I don't think so. And the reason why is this. With Dead City, like you said, coming up, already working on a season 2. With Daryl Dixon already working on a season 2.
About the summer.
As a man who absolutely gives you the knowledge on the MCU, could we see at least a series or a final representation and I guess say TWD Avengers Assemble at some point in time? Because I think at some point in time there has to be an end for the TWD, and I think they just at some point in time they have to realize that Robert Kirkman or whoever has to just go ahead and say, you know what, I think we need to go ahead and end this. Let's just get everybody together. Let's do one last thing. The CRM versus them would have been probably the best thing I think would have been done for them as far as a cataclysmic Avengers endgame type deal, as far as battling each other and all that. But they obviously chose not to go ahead and extend that. But I think a Avengers style team up, I think is probably going to have to be an ending of the TWD.
I don't agree. I don't think the plan ever was to have them commingle. I think the most commingling you're going to see is Maggie and Negan in their series, and Daryl and Carol finding themselves in Daryl Dixon. They didn't design these shows. This is the end of the Rick and Michonne story. They're not going to be back. That finale was set up to end their story. There's nowhere for them to really go. Now, don't you think they've already gone to Danny and Andrew and asked them about season 2 by now? Now, they gave them executive producer roles on the show and whatnot, and they had a lot of say on the creativity level, right? In the creative level and whatnot. Danny wrote episode 4, I believe it was, did a great job, or episode 5. She wrote it. And I appreciate that they did that with them, but I don't see them interconnecting it. I mean, I thought for a while there, maybe you might see Rick and Daryl get back together, Rick, Daryl, and Carol, because ultimately Daryl is looking for Rick, right? Like that's what he was trying to do before he ended up in France. He was looking for Rick, right? So, but I just honestly, this is just my opinion, Gerald. I don't see in the fandom, because I'm in these Walking Dead private chats, right? I'm in there. I'm good with the admins. They let me plug my content and whatnot and all that. I put up the links. We've actually gotten a really good spike of viewership and whatnot on our live streams and whatnot from these chats. And these diehard Walking Dead fans, they want to see the MCU interconnectivity. Of course they do. We talked about that on the show the other day, how the MCU has influenced everything so much over the course of 15 years, right? That everyone expects the interconnectivity and everything now. Every IP that comes out, right? Where they do a spin-off or they do some kind of you get whatever I'm going with this. Everyone has an expectation, but I just don't see it happening, Gerald. I don't.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm telling you, as someone who worked in the industry or Hollywood industry, I'm just going to tell you right now, my friend.
Yes.
Record ratings.
Yes.
Sometimes dictates all, and if again for the opener to be their 6-year AMC ratings high, to me says a lot about they're still one last gasp that they can go down, because they eventually, they're all in their 50s now. They have to go ahead and finish this off soon. But to just go another season, then people are just going to get burned out. It's just like The Walking Dead again.
They very well could tie it all off into that direction. It could go there, right? Who knows? Or you never know too, Gerald. They could end the Rick and Michonne series, and I don't think that the AMC would be happy with just the other two. There are other characters that they could go with and whatnot. They could make another spin-off series.
Okay, because I'm just going to tell you, Dead City season 2 and Daryl Dixon season 2, they're not going to pop big numbers anymore because they're already in season 2, and the fans are already there or they're not there. The only way that, I'm going to use the wrestling vernacular because I'm going to have on my good friend John here in a few minutes talking WrestleMania. The only way they're going to get another ratings pop is if they all come together for one final mission or one final battle in order to go ahead and end this Walking Dead is entirely because, again, Andrew Lincoln, Denai Guerrera.
I get where you're going. Everything you're saying, it all lines up in my head. I know exactly what you're saying. All the pieces fit.
They're not getting any younger, so
it fits for what you're saying, that they would go in that direction. Again, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in Daryl Dixon season 2, right? It's going to come out in a couple of months.
Yes.
Right?
See, the thing is, how many people are excited for it? And it's not to the level of interest that what we saw from The Ones Who Live.
It was a good show, Daryl Dixon. It was solid.
It was okay for what it was. But again, I see the numbers. My reasoning and rationale for a lot of the stuff is, what does the general audience at large want? Not just the TW hardcore. The ones in your chat room, they've got them. AMC's always got them.
I tell them that. I tell them that they have them.
They could put the Walking Dead strategy game on AMC for 2 hours, and they'll watch it. The hardcore.
They will.
Okay, but it's what the general audience at large, do they see it? And that's the thing. The Ones Who Live, they were supported by a larger audience that had come back to go see Rick and Michonne. And I think unless you're going to go ahead and get them all together for one final run, you're probably not going to see those high numbers again. And it's just going to go down, as it was successive seasons of Dead City and Daryl Dixon to, okay, why are we still putting this on? Like let's say Fear the Walking Dead numbers, if for lack of a better term.
You changed my mind on this now, because now that you've put it to me that way, I can see now where probably in the future I'm going to be more.
Well, let's say you're in the AMC boardroom, my friend. What would you want? Do you want more dwindling numbers?
No, from a standpoint of what's best for the bottom line. I think that probably the smartest move is to make sure that all these characters, as many of them as possible from the original show, come back together in some kind of final arc.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Where
6 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever. Just end it all. Say it's finally the end of The Walking Dead. Finally, done. When you see enough residual returns for Dead City and Daryl Dixon, when you see the declining returns. Because that's what usually happens over the course of seasons. Like that's a lot of times, because they already know these characters for so long, they're probably not going to stay with it as much as they were. The
question is too, though, Gerald, will people like Danny and Andrew sign up for something like that if it's not written really well, right, and done well?
I'm not sure this was really written and done well.
Listen, I don't think it was all that. I thought, honestly, if you really want to know the truth, I think Daryl Dixon was better than Rick and Michonne.
I would agree with you there. I even like Dead City, especially with the villainous character.
I thought it tailed off very heavily after like episode 3. It kind of.
I still found it a little bit better than The Ones Who Live. But again, I'm just going to say that The Ones Who Live was the one who's got the numbers.
It does.
And even though it's all. That last voiceover by the newscaster, all tidied up. Everything was tied with a bow and all that. It's all fancy stuff. It's still going to leave everybody that wants to see more Rick and Michonne one last time to say, you know what? It's just going to come down to it. If you're an AMC exec, you've got to make a choice on what you want to do for the future. And yeah, you can keep on making the success of season 2 and maybe even a season 3, but you're never going to get the kind of numbers again unless you bring back Rick Michonne and you put them together with Daryl and everybody else, Negan, all that stuff, stuff. So that's
yeah,
just,
no. At the end of the day, that would be the home run. Would be to show more, as many of the original, just like the OG Avengers, same kind of deal, right? Same correlation.
One last run, and that's why I thought the CRM would have been good for that as a force.
Oh yeah, as an overarching villain.
Yeah, because you made them out to be in the show.
In the finale, they even connected them to the stuff in Daryl Dixon and all that shit and whatnot. My French.
So you did enough to go ahead and have it supported that. But the problem is, you killed most of the forces off with one blow. And I think in doing so, you got rid of them as a villainous entity going forward. So
they're still going to survive. All they did was blow up a portion of the military.
But the military, if in that voiceover at the very end is so important because they talked about where the CRM was. They made an agreement and they were taken over by now the government, the bodies of government now, as far as it changed. Yeah, it basically wiped out the CRM as an entity going forward, as an evil entity going forward. So again, my friend, much to discuss if that's the case, but I think that's going to be their only option if they want one last pop in ratings for The Walking Dead to grease. I feel like The Walking Dead is like a wet rag and they're just trying to squeeze and wring out every single drop they have left.
Well, I feel like Shogun is a series where I wish I could pay somebody for them.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's end our segment with this then, with Shogun. Again, I've talked about on the show with Don Fobbs, with Josh Peterson, with Melinda Barkhouse Ross, how Shogun for me so far, 7 episodes in now, has been the best television show for 2024. Just basically it's been the best of the year. But tell everyone out there exactly in your own words why you think it's been so good.
Excellent directing, excellent paying attention to all corners of detail when it comes to production. This took years in the making to put together. I mean, just the writing process alone was them writing here in America, then sending the script over the story, the scripts over to Japan to be translated, then brought back to America. Right, that was the process. They just really FX. I can't wait to see the budget numbers. I just saw the Rick and Michonne numbers, $85 million for that show, whatever. I can't wait to see the Shogun budget at the end of this show because from the costume design, but the writing, Gerald, the writing. And the storytelling, there's no messaging in it. There's no, woke. I'm going to go there. There's no woke anything there. There's strong female characters in the show, very strong, that are very impactful on the series. Right? There's Anna Sawi is out acting Cosmo Jarvis as far as I'm concerned, and not only through episode chapter 6 because we're a week behind. We do that, but basically. I think the writing and directing, especially I love the fact that they've had different writers and directors from chapter to chapter. I thought chapter 6, we just reviewed it last night, was a stellar episode. And it's such a rich show. Just that intro that they have is so good. Every chapter, every episode is complete at the end, right? From start to finish, it's complete, right? Moving on to the next chapter. And then it just starts over again, the story. And then it completes, and then it repeats. And just that consistency, even when you're having different writers across the span of different episodes, hats off to the executive producers like, Hiroyuki, Sanada, right? For all the work he put into it and whatnot. And the acting has just been outstanding. Anna Sawi.
Yes. She's killing it. She's been absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah, especially in chapter 6. She just destroyed it. Yes. And that scene with her and the courtesan at the courtesan house was like Emmy winning writing, like Shakespearean almost, and acting. I love Fuji. Fuji's my MVP. I want more Fuji.
Okay.
She's either seppuku herself one episode or she never know with her.
Exactly. But yeah, it's been tremendous so far. Is highly recommended by both you and I. It is, of course,
Oh yeah.
Shogun. Please catch up on the episodes on FX if you get a chance. It is definitely worth your time. It is definitely better than what I remember of the original Shogun miniseries. So, yeah, if you get a chance, please check it out today. It is Shogun, available on Hulu, FX, and also as well, of course, Disney Plus. And that's the thing. And people were surprised that Disney Plus was carrying this, but yeah,
Yeah.
greatly appreciate Disney
I'm
Plus. In fact,
glad.
well,
I'm glad.
I think it's just coming to the point where Disney Plus is just going to have to absorb Hulu and FX or something like that, and just say, you know what,
Oh
it's just
yeah.
all under the Disney Plus
I'm
banner.
sure you probably already talked about it. You already
Oh yeah,
know that there's the day coming here soon where some of these services are going to be like coming together.
consolidated and whatnot.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
spent way too much money and everything and whatnot. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more on that. But
no,
before we head it,
go ahead,
before
sir.
we, I was going to say, before we head out, it's your cheap plug time, my friend,
Oh
because
God,
guess what? You got to catch up, everybody, on your awesome channel, the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So I've got radio stations around the world that are actually
oh,
listening to you, that are listening to this, or when they get this, that want to know what's going on with the
oh, I
MCU.
feel a lot of pressure now. But no, the FC's Bleeding Edge is actually doing really damn well. We are killing it on with our live streams. Our live audiences are we've been setting records for the last couple of weeks, week after week. But you can find us Monday nights, Wednesday nights, and Friday nights. We live in the evening. And we're on our main platform and home base is YouTube. We're digital creators, although we have a podcast. It's on all the podcasting platforms. You can find us on X, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook Live, all the major platforms. We're on all of them. We live on all of them. And we cover basically a lot of episodical TV series. We do movie reviews, and we do, pop culture news and fandom rumors and casting, news and events and whatnot, just like Gerald. Just more with an MCU lean. But we cover stuff across the board, like we're doing Shogun. We're about to do Fallout, right? That's when we're going to cover. We're going to cover the House of the Dragon season 2 when it comes out, and we're going to do, the Acolyte when that comes out. So we do Star Wars, we do fandom stuff, and come check us out at the MCU's Bleeding Edge. We're the same title every platform, all our socials. It's all the MCU's Bleeding Edge.
I'll tell you what, though, it is a great time. I've been on this show before. It's absolutely incredible cast each and every time. It's got great panels, with always great opinions. It is, of course, the MCU's Bleeding Edge. And of course, he does cover the MCU. Are you guys going to be covering a certain signing or a certain actress who may become the next Silver Surfer?
Well, of course, that would be on our Monday show, the MCU's Bleeding Edge Report. We actually have a titled show now, and that's when we cover all of our pop culture, fandom, rumors, and casting news and whatnot and all that.
Okay.
A lot of interesting stuff going on, sir. We'll have to talk MCU next time I come on.
Absolutely. Would love to do so. And I know it's been a very interesting 24 hours since that report came out in regards to that. I'll say the opinions are all over the place, and I'll just leave it at that. But it is, of course, Jeff Sloboda, the man of true knowledge. Even when he's out, he's still in. Jeff, always great to have you talking anything you want of pop culture, anytime you want, right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos.